Testing, 1, 2, 3. I'm Cheyenne Nicole, and this is my channel. Today, we are going to be discussing the masculine and the feminine. I like to call those man brain.
Love when men use their men brain.
And girl brain. Would you still love me if I was a worm? But we all have both. They are both inside of us, and it can get a little bit weird, a little unbalanced, and I think a lot of that is happening in the world. There's some confusion around that, so I just wanted to share my perspective and experience as a healing fearful avoidant. The feminine is the be-er, is the receiver. Girls just want to have fun. It's the expression, the creativity, the connection. It's the, I want to eat all the chocolate because it feels so good. I don't care if it gives me love handles or squishy wishy because it's okay. It's all gravy. It's all good, right? The masculine says, hey, look, things might pop off. Things might pop off and you need to be able to carry the children out of an emergency. They are the doers. The protectiveness, the goal-oriented, purposeful, driven energy. Now, there's been a lot of times in my life where I've had to lead with my masculine. In the world that we live in, I have not been able to let my feminine come out, so to speak. I wanted to get to the bottom of that. Okay. Sorry. My masculine side is saying, hey, you have no plan. What are you doing? There's no plan. You have no script. You don't know what you're talking about. You should probably prepare more and then come back. But my feminine side says, just do it. Just do it. And whatever happens, happens. Whatever flows, flows. The masculine is the doing energy. Again, we both have both of these energies in our beings. Focus is purpose, direction, goals. The masculine is a linear energy. It has direction and purpose. It's going somewhere. It's structured, logical, result-oriented. The feminine, on the other hand, is the being energy. We're along for the ride. We're enjoying what's going on around us. Again, we both have both of these energies. Our focus is connection, intuition, expression. Our feminine energy is in a cyclist. Goes in a circle. There's a lot of cycles. You can see me cycling through so many different versions. The second that you think that you've grasped where we are, we're in a whole nother place. We're in a whole nother cycle. Fluidic, feeling-based, receptive. The gifts of the masculine are clarity, stability, protection, providing, problem solving. The gifts of the feminine are nurturing, creativity, empathy, pleasure, surrender. This is where I really wanted to get to. I have always found myself, like I said, having to have my man brain on, having to be paying attention to my surroundings, making sure that I'm safe. As a fearful avoidant, my man brain is my protective side. It wants to control to prevent us from getting hurt. Strong boundaries or withdrawing suddenly. That is how my attachment comes into play with the masculine energy. It leads with logic, independence. I don't need anyone. That is the masculine in a fearful state. It is rigid, controlling, and emotionally distant. I, as a fearful avoidant, find myself oscillating between these two. I would say that my anxious side usually comes out through my feminine energy, and my avoidant side usually comes out through my masculine energy. The fear underneath this for my masculine side is the fear of rejection or a loss of respect. Loss of respect, a loss of independence, a loss of autonomy, a loss of identity of who I am, being consumed or having to give up control. We're going to get to healing these things as well. My feminine side, when it is in a fearful state, it is chaotic, passive, overly dependent. That is terrifying for my avoidance side. Terrifying. It craves closeness and approval, but fears being too much. Leans into emotional expression, but later on feels shame for being open, like all of my art. It uses charm, caretaking, or creativity to feel worthy of love. I really don't like that one. Yeah, I don't like that one. I don't like that. I naturally feel like a charming, caretaking, creative, loving being. But I get it. Our shadow and fear on our feminine side is chaotic, passive, and overly dependent. What happens is we're constantly being triggered. We're finding people that trigger the shadow in either of our repressed energies. So if you are a very masculine man, you might be really drawn to someone with a strong feminine energy. I find myself, yes, sweetheart. So speaking from my experience, I've been really diving deep into what the attraction for me is in a lot of the people that I found drawn to recently. And they have a very strong masculine energy that naturally brings out my feminine energy. It feels as if I can turn off my man brain and be safe to do so. Both are still important. Both need to be integrated for a balanced dynamic, for a balanced connection. So if you're a very masculine man, you might be drawn to someone that is very feminine, maybe nurturing, creative, empathetic, but maybe hasn't dealt with their shadow side and can become chaotic, passive, or overly dependent. Would you still love me if I was a worm? If you're a real feminine man, you might be drawn to a more masculine woman and then get sidelined by her rigidness, controlling, or emotionally distant behavior. I find the more feminine leaning men trigger this in me. My rigidness, my controllingness, my emotional distance, and that's usually from their neediness, their feeling like they're collapsing on me, or give me, please. Like, that's how it feels, and that triggers this in me. I'm speaking about men because I'm a woman and my experience has been with men, but when I come across girls or women that are more masculine, I naturally lean into my feminine side. And when I think this is it's crazy, but when I'm with some girls or women that are just naturally able and have been set up in a way that that's just where they're coming from, a lot of the time feminine, I naturally become very protective, and I'm getting us to and from wherever we need to go. I'm making sure that this sweet little baby is protected. And they'll allow me to be that. And when I'm in my feminine nature, I'll allow the masculine energy to be the driving energy of us. So it's really beautiful, regardless of whether it's with men or women, to get to experience both energies. but really the shadow, when we're acting out of fear and these things take over, it's not a negative, it's not a bad thing. I have found myself triggered more lately, and when I feel triggered, there's a lot of thoughts and beliefs that come up. They sound like you're too much, you're too overbearing, you're too closed off, you're too withdrawn, you're too emotionally unavailable. And it feels like I don't even have the emotions to give you. Even if I knew what they were, I couldn't even perform them for you. I feel cold and dry. And that's when you're in too much of your masculine energy, is when you're feeling cold and dry. And when you're in your feminine energy too much, it feels directionless and overwhelming. It's just like, woo. The masculine is the container, it's the containing energy. And the feminine is the energy inside of that, bouncing all around. That is the feminine energy. It's not bad that you're triggered. It's not bad when we're triggered. Your triggers are showing you more of what you need. Times I have been pushed into more of my feminine, and I've gotten chaotic or passive or overly dependent. That's the time where I take a step back and I evaluate what's happening inside of me. What are my needs? What are my desires? And that's how you heal the feminine, is by trusting the receptivity as strength and expressing your needs without guilt. This has gotten me hurt before. So that's why I'll always say it's very important to be aware of what you're receiving, because you can't receive all energies. You can't receive all gifts. It's not healthy. And sometimes I fall into a masculine, like full-on masculine withdrawal, protect. But to be in my feminine, I need to be able to express myself. And that is not mean I have to be received, because I might be expressing myself to someone that is too in their masculine and they are emotionally distant and rigid and cold and dry. But it doesn't matter. It does not matter if that other being is in that sense or not, because what matters is that I be, that I express, that I am able to be in my feminine. And if I'm unable to, then I can exit and know that this isn't a dynamic for me. This isn't a relationship for me. Healing the masculine looks like when I'm in my more masculine state and I'm feeling very rigid or controlling or emotionally distant, it's important for me to pause and go, why am I experiencing this? What am I feeling right now? I'm feeling my emotions would be more complicating in this situation. I'm feeling like if I shared these things, that they either wouldn't receive them, or worse, they would let it slip through their fingers and just on the floor. Softening that control and not shutting down the emotions. I don't have to share the emotions. I don't have to share anything that I don't want to, but being able to sit with emotions of how I'm feeling and deciding if that other person is worth using that direction and purpose to share and express and give. And if they do let it slip through their fingers, if they are not in a receiving mode, that's unimportant. That's irrelevant. What matters is me healing my masculine. I expressed myself and did this, and then I totally scrapped it and was like, no, it's not good enough. And I actually reviewed it, and it's a great analogy. This is the woman. This is a girl. Where's my hair? And this is the man. And they have a common problem to solve. They have a problem to solve. The kite is stuck in the tree. This kite could be a series of different problems. It could be simply getting to where you need to go in the same car. It could be finances. It could be how you're going to raise the children. It could be a bunch of things. But this is the problem. And so this is the woman. She needs to solve this problem. She has a problem to solve. So she's picking up rocks, throwing the rocks there. It's not working. It's not working. The man is in his masculine, and he offers to help. He says, I can give you some help. I can get that down for you. But this woman does not trust this man. She does not trust this man to just be. She can't just be and let him do. So since she doesn't trust him, she steps into her masculine. She goes into this garage and she racks her little brain looking for something that would help solve this problem. She steps into her masculine and she's got direction and a purpose. She's got a goal to get this kite down. And she sees 52 boxes lined up next to a ladder. She is ecstatic. She is so excited. This is awesome. She don't need nobody. She don't need no man. She can do this. So she comes and starts lining up these boxes. This man, his feelings are hurt. He's upset. He's sad. But he's not going to share that. He's not going to express himself because that would be feminine. Expressing himself would be feminine. Sharing his emotions and connecting would be feminine. So instead, he is just going to get distant. He is going to just get emotionally distant and rigid. He's not going to even help line these boxes up because she's being masculine. Ew. So she's lining up these boxes. Some of them fall. She gets hurt a little bit. She's like, but she keeps going. She perseveres because that's what we do. We keep going. And she climbs up here. It takes her like 10 hours. And she gets the kite down. Yay, right? Okay. So the man looks at this problem. And he is in his masculinity. He's in his masculine mode. He goes into the garage. He sees the same 52 boxes set next to a ladder. He thinks, how am I going to solve this problem the most efficiently? Because he's working out of his masculine brain. He brings out the ladder. And he climbs up there and gets it within like 5 minutes. She's shocked. What? Oh my gosh, what? That's crazy. That's amazing. God, I love when men use their men brain. I think that this is happening a lot. I think this is happening where the women are not trusting of the men to use their man brains. And it's leading them to step into their masculinity, and it takes so much more work and effort. Sure, we're creative and we're resilient and all those things, but it's causing us to, after we get this kite, we are collapsing on the ground. We are collapsing on the ground. We're tired. The kids stressed us out, asked us a million questions. Maybe we still have bills to pay ourselves. We've had to worry about all the people that are out to get us because we're girls. And this man, he has emotions. He's angry. He's mad at her. He's mad at her. He's emotionally distant and rigid and controlling because how dare she use her man brain? How dare she not respect his masculinity and his ability to really get stuff done, handle stuff. You know what I mean? But instead of stepping into his femininity and working on his shadow side and expressing himself and connecting through expressing himself and sharing his feelings and giving her the opportunity, whether she takes the opportunity or not, to receive him, she might be stuck in her masculine. She might be unable. She might have already been collapsed over all of being trapped in this masculine energy. Having to be constantly in your masculine as a woman, I will come up with tons of ways of doing things where that works, and it does, but it takes so much more energy of my being away that I very much value men that are in their masculine and letting men be in their masculine. If I can trust that it's not going to hinder or hurt my femininity, my intuition, my expression. Neither are your fault, but they are your responsibility. I think that a video on how to come back from this deserves its own video. So that's as far as we got today. I hope you like my drawing. I love you guys. Share your thoughts and what you think in the video. Love you. Bye.